Check it out. We are live. Today's show, we're going to talk about Grant Cardone, Danelle Delgado, Evan Walters. A lot of y'all don't know him yet. Tustin Ulrich. A lot of y'all don't know him yet either. We're going to talk about him. Rachel Black. We're going to talk about Rachel Black today. We're going to be talking about a bunch of folks. It's going to be a great episode. Also, my friend Ian Humphrey is going to come in here. This dude, probably, man, I've listened to like every single motivational speech and motivational speaker and inspirational, all the things, right? I've listened to probably every single one of them, is what it feels like. I know there's trillions I haven't, but that's what it feels like. But out of all of them, man, none of them have moved me like the amazing Ian Humphrey. And so I'm going to share him with you today as well. We're going to talk about the power of persistence and how there is strength in numbers, right? So much strength in numbers. All this coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. All this and more on today's episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind. Thanks for being with me. Let's grow.
Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind, the #1 morning show in the world filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Club, the club designed to help you unlock your full potential. Each episode is filled with celebrity interviews, inspiring conversations, and the strategies you need to get ahead in your career and your life. So grab your pen and turn up the volume because it's time to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning. How are you, my friend? Whoa, what did I do here? Hold up. That is too loud in my headphones. There you go. Good morning. How are you, my friend? Dude, today is, what is today? Today is Thursday. That's right. Today is Thursday, March 16th, 2023. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it's ever going to be Thursday, March 16th, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. And I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, I'm coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. This is day 3 of our 800% Elite Automotive Retreat. We kicked off on Tuesday. Here we are on Thursday. It's been wild, man. It's been wild. Not only is this place absolutely phenomenal, unlike anything else, but it's just been this spectacular, memorable experience all the way around, including getting lost every time you try to go somewhere and all the running around that has to be done. I've put in extra miles, which is great because we're doing some marathon training anyway. So I've been doing my runs in the morning, but then I'm also putting in miles all day, every day in this place. It's been amazing. But before I go too far in today's show, I have to give a shout out to my wife and my kids. My wife, Leslie Lundy, she has been here with the kiddos yesterday. I mean, I barely saw them. I saw them for just a few minutes. So shout out to my wife for always holding down the fort. She's been taking 7 babies, even crying babies, to the water park, moving them all around this massive place. They're all out of their comfort zones. None of them have their normal space, and she's rocking it like a freaking champion, because that's what my wife does. My wife is a freaking beast. So shout out to Leslie Lundy this morning for holding down the fort and allowing me to be able to pour into and get poured into by my clients, with my friends over the last couple of days. It's been absolutely spectacular here in Nashville. I'm feeling a lot better today. I got a little more rest last night. I got close to 2 sleep cycles, just a little short, but I did get my 2 sleep cycles, so I'm super excited. I was freaking exhausted last night. I mean, yesterday was just, it was crazy, man. Yesterday was a wild ride. So yesterday morning, my guy, Grant Cardone, let me know that he was going to fly in and spend some time with our dealers, but he also had a meeting with some people in Dubai, like way high up people in Dubai, and so he needed a meeting room, and it couldn't be a hotel room, and it had to be set up. And so I was running all over the place at 6 o'clock in the morning, trying to find this place. He's coming in. I got to get people to pick him up at the airport. Like, it was crazy, man. And so I got up yesterday. I slept 2 hours and 10 minutes, the night before. And I got up yesterday at whatever time it was, to do the show and all that, 3 a.m. or whatever time I got up. And then just went until 11 o'clock last night, like nonstop all day. Like, I was in a jacket, shirt, and tie, not tie, jacket and shirt by like 6:30 because I was picking up Grant at 7:15, and then it was just go all morning, man. It was a crazy, wild ride. But he did show up, and not only did he show up and pour into me, I'm on the side, but he showed up and poured into all of our 800% Club clients, which was awesome. We laughed a lot, and it was just a spectacular way to start the day, right? And after Grant Cardone, from there it just kept getting better and better and better. It was like Grant Cardone was opening for this sequence of just absolute greatness. Danelle Delgado came in and just. Dude, she's been at every one of my events. Danelle Delgado's been at every one of my 800% Club events. I think maybe she missed one for emergency reasons, but she's basically been at all of them, and it's pretty incredible how she never ceases to amaze me. Right? She always comes over the top. If you don't know Danelle Delgado, you need to go look her up. You need to connect with her. She's just a phenomenal human being. And then after Danelle Delgado, we had my guy Mark from ABN Live, and that's an incredible tool and a partner, and he's become a friend of mine over the last few years. And then my guy Tustin Ulrich. Tustin's phenomenal, man. He's the general manager over there at Roper Kia, and the owner of Roper Kia was here as well, and Tustin went and he just spoke and poured into the community, and it was just like, it was unbelievable. And then my guy Evan Walters, man. Evan Walters, I don't have any pictures. Those of you that are watching full production, you're like, why doesn't he have any pictures? Dude, I get so laser focused on these events. I don't take any freaking pictures. I got camera people. I'm sure we'll get some pictures freaking later. But I was looking at my phone this morning. I'm like, I don't have freaking pictures. I don't have freaking video. I don't have nothing. Normally, I'm capturing all that stuff, but I just cannot think about that stuff when I'm in these events. And luckily, I have people there to capture all of that. But Evan, man, he teared me up. Evan's my guy. He's been my guy for the last decade. Watching him grow up and mature. If you don't know Evan Walters, make sure you connect with that guy. But he poured into everybody. And then Rachel, my girl Rachel Blatt, she's just like this freaking boss lady doing big things with her company. She poured into everybody. And Danny Zozlowski, right, from VinQ, he freaking geeked out. We went like full nerd mode for an hour. It was crazy, man. And Michael Cirillo, my buddy Michael Cirillo, a lot of you guys know him that watch this show. He's just freaking hilarious, man. And he came in and lit us up. And it was just phenomenal, Jessica Bailey, my assistant, did a phenomenal job of picking the location and putting everything together. The food was spectacular. It was a freaking wild, wild, wild ride, but it was stacked. It was stacked. And what a lot of people didn't know, they saw the things on the front, all the things that we, highlight and that we get to do. But what a lot of people didn't know is that dude, Grant Cardone, who flew up here from Miami to come see us, who got here early so he could do his meeting with Dubai, all of that stuff. Dude, his shoulder is broken in 2 places. And he didn't have a cast on it. He didn't have a sling on it. Nothing like that. But he broke it just a few days ago, snowboarding with his kids, right? Broken ankle. I'm sorry, he originally broke his ankle, and then he still went and snowboarded and fell and broke his shoulder. And so he was in here with a broken freaking shoulder, dude. And not like nursing it, letting everybody know about it, like just sitting up there freaking doing his thing. If you go back and watch the video, you'll notice he's not moving like the left side of his body the entire time, dude. Right? But he had a freaking broken shoulder, which is crazy. Danelle Delgado's here pouring into all these humans. She's got 5 kids here with her. Like she's momming, she's single momming at the same time as she's, doing all this awesome stuff and supporting me and pouring into my clients. Like we see the glitz and the glam, we see what's going on in front. A lot of times we don't see what's going on behind the scenes, right? Like Tustin, my guy Tustin, who just freaking laid it down and absolutely freaking killed it. Him and his organization, him and his group, they're dealing with a major tragedy that just hit this past Saturday. Right? But I mean, he came in and he was powerful and he was fierce, and what he had to share was just so incredibly important. Like, it was amazing. Evan came up there, made me so proud, brought me teary-eyed. I mean, dude, what a lot of people don't know is I sprung that on Evan like last second. He was nervous as all get up to be up there. He's got a newborn baby, right? Not newborn, but younger baby, and him and his wife, newlyweds, he's working through all that, through that whole transition, and he's got a lot of doubts. He had a lot of self-doubt, a lot of doubt. Like, I don't know if I can do this, man. A lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't see. Rachel, who killed it, same thing. Self-doubt, wasn't sure, nervous, messaging me like 100 times. Hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with this. And I couldn't hit her back, man. I was freaking nose down, like doing all the stuff. So she was just kind of out there on her own, And she did amazing. And see, she did amazing, and Grant did amazing, Danelle did amazing, and Evan did amazing, and Tustin did amazing. They all did amazing because that's what champions do, is champions consistently come through no matter what. Dude, yesterday I was on 2 hours of sleep. Yesterday I was freaking exhausted by the end of the day, man. No doubt, exhausted. My wife was like, you going back to the room, going to bed? I'm like, nope, not yet. Job's not done yet, not yet. My dealers are here. They took time away from their families. They took time away from their companies. They took time away from their organizations. They traveled here. They flew here. They did all of these things. They get every freaking ounce of me until I got nothing left. The itinerary says we hang out till 10. I'm hanging out till 10. That's what champions do, right? Even when your back's up against the wall, even when you're against the ropes, a champion continues freaking throwing punches, continues to show up, not for themselves, but for others. You see, yesterday I was made stronger by the people around me. I was weak at many points during the day. Like, oh my gosh, man. I was weak, 2 hours of sleep. We've been running for 2 days already with the event. Emotionally, that's a lot. Energy-wise, that's a lot. Running around this place is a lot because the place is freaking huge, right? But see, I was made stronger by the people around me. Grant Cardone shows up and tells everybody on the stage, that I'm an incredible dude. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel better. Tustin, Evan, Rachel, Danelle, all of them made me stronger yesterday. And so it just goes to show it was absolute proof, which worked in perfectly with the title of today's episode, which the title was set on Sunday, right? But the reality is there is so much strength in numbers. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the persistent pursuit of those champions that can elevate you and that you can elevate them. We're going to have that conversation. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. Excuse me. I still got a little voice left. I'm going to make it through today. Before we do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. We got to do some dancing. All right, let me see. Hold on. That's too soft. Too soft for Clubhouse. Can't really turn it up, though. Don't know. I could do that, but then it's really loud. Yeah, let's try it like this. Hey, for those of you that know and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right, I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you and I want you to say good morning to me, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. Say what's up and I'll say what's up back. Does that sound fair? Fair enough. All right, Annette, good morning. William, how are you? Great to see you, William. Pauline is in the building. Mrs. Samira, I'm grateful that you were here. Thanks for joining us today. Crystal's in the building. Kimberly's in the building. Tony T and Camellia, good morning to both of you. Natasha and Chima is in the building today. What's up, Leisha? How you doing, Brian? I see you. I see Mrs. Christine. I see Mindy and Russell and Danielle and Kim. I see Melvin Rodriguez. Good morning, Melvin. What's up, Yasmin? How you doing, Charisma? I'm glad you're here. Jacqueline Underwood and Ryan Gallagher. What's up, Natasha Smith? Debbie Dowling Waba in the building. Michelle Gravely is up in here as well. James Boardwine, Tabitha Walls, Sonia Merritt, and Tara Hope. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Edward Help is up in here this morning. I also see the Queen, Renee Knorr, in the building. Scott Marazzini is up in here today. Thanks for being here, Scott. I greatly appreciate you. Then I got to give a shout out. To Gary. That's right, Gary Barbera. What's up, Gary? Gary came up to me just a few minutes ago live here in the lobby, so I don't know if he's still behind me around here somewhere, but I definitely want to say good morning to Gary as well. Ed Hook Jr., great to see you. Russell Hill, I'm glad you're here. Rich Pintrick, thanks for being in the building. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I love spending time with you right here online. I really, really, really do. The only thing I love more is spending time with you in real life. We have an event coming up I will be speaking at in Dallas, Texas, April 13th and 14th. Breakfast with Champions Business Conference. Make sure you check it out. Go to bwcdaily.com/Dallas2023. There he is. There he is, running around back here, working out. Good morning, man. I love it, man. I love it.
Everything he's saying was gospel. Right on. Everyone was surprised with Uncle Jay.
That's right. That's right.
It was great. And the level of energy just kept going up from there. It was great.
Well,
it was great.
You,
all right.
Thank you.
Good.
I appreciate
Peace
you.
out.
I love that guy, man. He's absolutely amazing. So check it out. We will be in Dallas. Make sure you come join me April 13th, 14th, bwcdaily.com/Dallas2023. It's going to be awesome. Sound fair? All right. We're going to talk about this strength in numbers, the people around you, how they can elevate you. How they can elevate you and make you stronger, how important that is. And we're going to keep this conversation going. Let's go.
Became my first hero. Growing up, my grandmother never used an alarm clock. But every morning, my grandmother would wake up at 4:15. And at 4:16, her feet would hit the floor, usually right in front of my face. And that's what would wake me up. But I would lay there and I would pretend like I was still asleep because me and 4:15 really didn't get along. But Grandma would look at the back of my head. I could feel her staring at me, and then finally she would say, "Now, sugar, grandmama know you ain't sleep. You just supposed to go on and get on up and get ready for school." And my grandmother was known for saying things that would kind of make you a little angry because they made so much sense and you couldn't argue with her. Parents, you know, there's things that when you become parents, you start to say to your own kids. Like my grandmother would say, "Now, son, you knew when you laid down there last night that you had to get up this morning. I don't know why every single morning you lay there and act surprised. You ought to be thankful that the Lord saw fit to wake you up this in your right mind." But what my grandmother was encouraging me to do was simply to be grateful for the opportunity. In spite of all that I had been through in my life, she just wanted to make sure that I understood the opportunity that I've been given. My life got started, it was a little rough. It was a little rough start. I was born 2 months premature. My mother was walking up a flight of stairs, and she didn't know this at the time, but a woman she had an argument with earlier was standing above her holding a pot of boiling water. As my mom made her way up those stairs, that woman dumped that water onto my mom and sent her tumbling down the stairs and into premature labor. She received third-degree burns to over 25% of her body. And when we were finally allowed to leave the hospital, as you can imagine, my mom was in a great deal of pain. Those burns just barely missed her face and covered most of the front of her body. So when we got home, she began taking a heavy sedative, pain medication to help her recover. When she took that medication, it was very difficult for her to watch me, so I would bounce around a lot. I'd stay with my mom for a little bit, and then I'd go stay with grandma, and I'd stay with some neighbors, aunties, and then back to my mother's house. I did that for the first 3 years of my life. When I was 3 years old, I was back at my mom's house, and I got into her purse, I found that medication, I swallowed everything in the bottle. When they found me, they rushed me to the hospital, and my heart would stop, and eventually I went into a coma. But because of that accident, because of that incident, the state of California, they did an investigation. And the conclusion that they came to was that it wasn't an accident. They removed me from my mother's home. I was made a ward of the state, and eventually I went into the foster care system. Shortly after I arrived to one of my foster homes, my foster mom, her name was Miss Alexander. Miss Alexander began locking me inside the closet with no light. She'd open the closet door, she'd kick me, hit me with a stick or a strap or whatever she had. It was while I was in that foster home that I was sexually abused for the first time in my life. And oftentimes people will ask, you know, if that has to be the worst thing that could happen to someone. I have scars on my body that you can't see. I have a burn here on my hand that she put there with an iron. But all of that pain went away. The worst thing that Mrs. Alexander would do is she would open the closet door, she would stand over me, and she would say, "You're stupid, and you ain't gonna never amount to nothing." And that hurt me more than any of the physical kicks or the physical pain because I believed it for a long time. I believed that I would never amount to anything, just like she said. I didn't know this at the time, I found out a little bit later, but my grandmother, my hero, she had started going back and forth to court, trying to prove that she could take care of an active, handsome little boy. And eventually the state of California, they granted her full custody of me. And I'll never forget standing on Miss Alexander's front porch waiting. She had my little belongings, everything that I had. I remember standing there, it may have only been a half an hour, but it felt like an eternity, and I can remember thinking maybe no one's coming. But after a while, at the end of the block, I see the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life. And the car pulls up right in front of the porch, and I remember all I could see are these two big glasses, bifocals. And I found out later that Grandma had glaucoma, she wasn't even supposed to be driving. But she gets out of that big car, and she's got on this white floppy hat with it was a flower right there in the middle. And I remember she had on this long white dress that came all the way down to her ankles. And I found out later that, that was Grandma's Sunday best. It was an outfit that she only reserved for special occasions. And I can remember for once in my life feeling like I was some special occasion. I remember jumping into Grandma's arms and squeezing her, and I remember her whispering and saying to me, "Everything's okay. You're family." And everything was okay, just like Grandmother said. And I had a lot to look forward to. I found out that my mom was going to court trying to prove that she could take care of me. And I can remember sitting there with my mother, and we talk, And we had a lot of different conversations. One thing I can remember saying, Mama, you know, one day when I get big, I'm gonna buy you a nice house with a fireplace. I said, Mama, one day I'm gonna buy you a nice car. Not like grandmama's, and get you a nice one. But the truth is, I just really wanted to become a family again. And that's what I looked forward to. When I was 12 years old, I was asleep on my grandmother's floor. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. We get a knock on the door. And it was my mom's roommate. Miss Howell, come quick. Miss Howell was my grandma. She said, come quick, it's Ruth. Ruth was my mom. She said, I can't wake her up, I think she's dead. And I can remember laying on that floor, you know, kind of wishing it was, thinking, hoping that it was maybe a dream. But it wasn't. And that's how I found out that all the hopes and dreams and things that I had to look forward to weren't gonna happen. I became very angry. I became confused, I was hurt. I didn't really understand what was happening. I started acting out, hanging out with the wrong people, breaking into houses, started stealing cars. I can remember not really caring what happened to me. I continued that behavior until I was 19. When I was 19, I found myself standing in front of a judge. I was handcuffed, had a chain around my waist, and my handcuffs were attached to that chain. The judge looked at me and says, the state of California sentences you to 15 years in prison for armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. That day, when that door closed behind me for the first time as a convicted felon, I remember standing in that empty cell. I remember my knees started to get weak and they started to shake uncontrollably. I collapsed and I fell to the floor and I just started crying alone. I can remember hearing voices. Heard the voice of my foster mom saying, you're stupid, you ain't gonna never amount to nothing. Heard the voice of family members and friends of family that said, that boy's gonna end up just like his father. My father was a career criminal, he died in prison. I can remember laying there thinking to myself that this is where I'm gonna die. But here's what happened that would change my life. Shortly after I arrived to that prison, there was an educator there. His name was Charles Lyles, 6'3", ex-Marine. And I don't know what it was about me, but every time he saw me, he'd say, hey, Mr. Humphrey. And he had this big smile on his face, a smile that my kids would say, that's creepy. But he smiled and he said, hey, Mr. Humphrey, how are you doing? He always called me Mr. Humphrey. He gave me that respect. He walked into my cell. He looked at me and he said, Mr. Humphrey, he says, prison doesn't have to be your life. He says, you can get out of here and you can do great things. He started to walk away, and before he walked out of my cell, he turned around one last time and he says, Mr. Humphrey? I said, yes, sir. He says, I believe in you. He walked out of my cell. And if he had continued to stand there, he would have seen the tears running down my face because no one had ever said that to me. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm gonna make some changes and I'm gonna change my life. And a little over 4 years after the day I originally collapsed and fell to the floor, I walked out of that prison on parole. That was over 18 years ago. I've never been back other than to mentor and help other people. But here's what I know. I know that when you've had a rough life, when you feel unwanted, I know that when you have hopes and dreams and when you have things that you can look forward to and when you have people in place that support you and push you, I know that that gives you a reason to live. It is a great day to be alive. And that's something that I haven't always said, but now it's something that I say to myself every single day at some point. If I'm having a great day or a bad day, that's something that I say. But what I also understand is that what my grandmother was thanking her higher power for each and every day was for the opportunity that she'd been given. And she never missed an opportunity to tell anyone that would listen, especially me, it's a great day to be alive.
You are made stronger. You are made stronger by the people around you. Well, let me rephrase that. You can be made stronger by the people around you. If you got the wrong people around you, they ain't gonna make you stronger. So listen to me. You must consistently, persistently seek proximity to those who can elevate you, that you can elevate. I asked Grant Cardone one time. A couple weeks ago to be here in Nashville, Tennessee. I asked him to come to swing by to pour into my people. I asked him to do that a couple weeks ago. He said he probably couldn't do so. Then from that point forward, I made sure, like I always do, but I commented on his posts. I make sure to like his stuff on social. I send him messages when he drops a good video or whatever, right? Like I comment, I message him occasionally. I never asked a second time for him to be here in Nashville, Tennessee. And then he called me and said, hey, I know you got your thing. I think I'm going to be able to make it. We just got to make this happen, right? Consistently, persistently, without being annoying, right? Consistently, persistently, without being annoying, staying in proximity to power is the key. See, he calls me, then he comes in, then he sits on stage, and then he tells everyone in the audience that I'm special, that Glenn Lundy is 1 in 8 billion, that he doesn't do this for anyone else, that he doesn't go to places for free. The guy charges $250,000 to go speak somewhere for an hour, plus travel, plus expense, plus this, plus that. And yet he jumps on his jet with his daughter, flies from Miami to come pour into this group because he believes in A, Glenn Lundy, and B, 800%. Like he really freaking loves it. He loves the difference we're making in the auto industry. So you see how that elevates me? Like he makes me stronger. I asked once. I comment, I like, I message occasionally. I stay close, not annoying, but I stay close. And you should do the same. I did the exact same thing with Danelle Delgado. That's how Danelle Delgado and I became friends, is once I realized that she was this powerful human that I could learn so much from, and that I needed to become the type of person that I could pour into and help elevate her, right? Once I realized those things, I did the same thing. Occasional messages, liking her posts, commenting on her stuff, supporting her Friday Night Lives, staying in proximity to her until she, in turn, I think it was about 11 months, was like, oh, okay, this dude's legit. He can elevate me and I can elevate her. You see, this is where the Morning Five, for those of you that are paying attention, this is where the Morning Five, like, freaking kills it, man. And this is where my show also freaking kills it. But the Morning Five, step 5 of the Morning Five, send out an encouraging message. Just so you all know, my clients, my potential customers, people I want to get close in proximity to, they get more messages than anybody else. They get more encouraging messages than anybody else. I'm intentional about it. Dude, you got to understand the game, man. And then my show, I show up every day, dude. How you show up in the world reflects your results, like, directly. How you show up in the world reflects your results directly. I do not want to get up at 2:20 in the morning. I didn't want to yesterday. I didn't want to today. I don't want to come out here in this freaking hotel lobby and set up all this. I mean, I got stuff set up. I got freaking lights and this P4 Zoom and the microphones and the laptop and the iPads. There's cords, there's wires. I got to move furniture. I had to move 2 tables so that I got a table to the left that stands this stuff, a table to the right that's got this stuff. You got to make sure this is positioned right so you guys get the little fireplace with that camera over here. I got another of the camera, and then you got the steps in the background now, right over here, right? Dude, I don't want to do that at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to. Why would I want to, man? My wife is upstairs. My kids, there's I think 2 children in my bed. There's nice, warm, comfy bed. There's cozy. There's the blanket. Like, it's freaking nice, man. We're in a nice freaking hotel room. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to. But the persistence behind building a community and understanding the strength in numbers takes my want, throws it out the window, and says, hey, I desire most to bring people together, equip them with the tools they need to succeed, and inspire them to be great. Like, that's what God called me to do. So in order for me to do that, a lot of times I got to do stuff I don't want to do. Does that make sense? In order to strengthen the community, in order to be able to get the benefits of strength in numbers, I got to do some things I don't want to do. Because, see, by showing up here for this show every day, a guy like Gary, who swung by here and said hello, who's also a potential client, right, who can elevate me and I can elevate him, he knew where I would be. You think he just happened to randomly make it through the lobby at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time, 4:30 a.m. here in Nashville? No, man. He saw the steps in the background from 2 days ago. He knew I would be here. And because he knew that I was reliable, that I was a man of my word, that I have integrity, that he can trust me, guess what? He's ultimately going to end up doing business with me. He's going to elevate me, and I'm going to elevate him. It's an exchange, folks. I show up here when you need me, and then you show up in my life when I need you. Like, that's how it works. We rise, we evolve, and we make an impact together. There is strength in numbers, but you must be intentional about this. It doesn't happen by happenstance. It's not by chance. It's not by chance that I'm surrounded by champions. It's intention. It's persistence. It's commenting, liking, messaging, showing up, being integral, being authentic, being real. You know exactly what you're going to get with me every single time. Nothing's going to change, right? And when you do that over time, man, you can build a community of strength. This community that we have right here, oh my gosh, it's so freaking powerful. Like, I feel, without a shadow of my doubt, I feel so comfortable that if anything were to ever happen to me, I know that you guys would take care of my wife and kids. I know my wife and kids would be good because we got a powerful freaking community. There's strength in numbers. Y'all would all make sure all them little Lundys got to experience all the things they needed to experience. And see, I want that for you, man. I want that for you. I do. I love you. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And so it's out of love, I'm telling you. Go out and be intentional about connecting with amazing freaking superhumans. Be intentional about connecting with the champions of the world. Be intentional about getting rid of anybody in your space that doesn't elevate you, that doesn't lift you up, that there is not an exchange. If they are just taking, and not giving, and like, get them out. Get them out. Because, dude, when you start running with champs, it makes you so much stronger. And I know that ultimately that's what you want. I know that deep down inside, you have a desire to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a below average version, not a little bit above average, but the absolute best. And in order for you to be the best, the champion that you truly are, you're going to have to be intentional. You must be persistent about being close in proximity to those that you can elevate and that can elevate you. Does that sound fair? Cool. Hey, Normally, after the live show here, I run over to Clubhouse. Not able to do that again today for some live Q&A, but shoot me a DM or a message if this hit you in some kind of way, and then I will be back here again 5:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll be back here again live from Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to wrap up today the 800% Club Growth Matters Summit. Super excited to wrap that up today. We've got some surprises for those guys and gals, which should be super, super exciting. So have an amazing day. Know that I love you. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again right here on #Rise and Grind.